Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Anwar, the head of mobility and rehab here at Bangtao Muay Thai MMA here in Phuket, Thailand. Today I'm going to take you through 5 drills, 5 warm-up exercises for Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. This is one of my longest kind of martial arts that I've been practicing. It's over 20 years now. And I always find that the hips, the spine, and kind of the neck always takes a bit of a bashing throughout training. So one of the best ways I like to warm up is actually getting our hips mobile and active. This is a traditional base. I think you may have seen this if you've been scouring the internet for some exercises. It's our 90-90 base. I like to have 2 variations of our 90-90 base. We'll have it with the knees pointing out, and we can also have it so if my hips are facing the front, that my one knee is facing the front, one knee is facing the side. What you'll find at the beginning, probably easier, is that both knees are sitting out. However you find that you can get set up into this position is how I'd like you to start. If your knees are aggravating, normally people sit something underneath their bum, so a little higher, and they're not putting too much pressure on the knees. You might even put something underneath, like a pillow or a towel, same on the other side. But if you're able to sit here straight away into this position, jump in. And then once you're in this position, the legs stay quite stable and the movement comes from the spine to start with. So what I'm going to do is look to flex and extend. And if I think about flexion through the spine, I'm able to come all the way over here. I'm able to go all the way back there, all the way over here, and all the way back there. So I'll do variations of flexion and extension. I'm going to minimize my hip hinge or my hip flexion and try to maximize the movement throughout the spine. Once we've done about 30 seconds of flexion extension, we'll take it into rotation. For rotation, drop your sternum and think about opening up your back ribs or opening up your shoulder blades at the back. Rather than lifting your chest and rotating, it will feel more like flexion. And we're going to twist side to side. As we do our twist, my landing hand is going to touch in different places. So I had some variety into this movement. I can rotate low. With my spine flex, I can even look to rotate a little higher, providing it doesn't take me out of that flex spine position. Variation through your rotations. And then we'll do side bend after you've done 30 seconds here. We'll drop from one side to the other. Same thing, my hand will land in different places. My top hand can rotate in different places. And I can also use my heads to encourage more movement in the upper torso. Side bend 30 seconds. Once you've done this, you can repeat everything again, or you can flip to the other side. That was our first exercise, the 90-90 spine mobility, and that will take us into our second exercise, the whip. Our second exercise, the whip. Seated still in this 90-90 position, what we're going to look to do is transition to the other side. As I transition to the other side, you see that I start with using my hands, and then I'm going to try to only use the balance of my body and the momentum of my legs to take me from side to side. Every time I land, I like to feel like I have a point of fixation or a secured point to start with before I move, rather than just moving and then my whole body coming out of alignment. I'll stay stable and control. I'll move the legs. I'll pause, and then I'll transition. And what's quite nice is the legs will change. So I will initially try to land with the heel closer to the groin, maybe on both sides. And as I come back, I may take the foot closer to the knee. As I land, whatever I'm doing in that front leg can be where it is, but then I might want to take my back leg further, so then I'll have to move my front leg. And you'll find that whatever positions you're putting your legs into will work different parts of your hips. I like to do this one a little bit longer. This might be up to 2 minutes, but at least a minute for the whip. That was our second exercise, the whip. Now we're going to move on to our third exercise, kick the door. So our third exercise is kick the door. And this is a really nice exercise to follow on from both the 90-90 and the whip. So what we'll do is, it looks like the whip, but we're gonna just have a moment of pause from here. And once you find that you've got the balance, we'll add a little bit more momentum, a little bit more power, a little bit more work. So as I come through, I kick, bring the leg back and kick the leg back. I'll kick, bring the leg in, kick the leg back. Kick, bring the leg in, kick the leg back. Kick. And what I'm doing is that leg then eventually doesn't make contact. So I'll kick and use that momentum. Kick, use that momentum to take me back in the opposite direction. This one's a little more challenging for our balance. So build your way up to doing 2 minutes. Initially, if you feel that you haven't warmed up the hip properly, you might need to spend a little bit more time on some of these specific movements. So I do kind of break these down sometimes. I'll do this component. My hands can be down to do this component. And I may just transition and work one component until it feels more integrated into that whole movement pattern. Kick, back. So that was our fourth exercise, kick the door. And our fifth exercise is the fisherman's base.
Yep.
Okay, our fifth exercise, fisherman's base. In Jiu Jitsu, this is commonly known as low base or combat base, but I like us to be on our toes. So the fisherman's base is really just the same as what you would find in your combat base, except you're stabilizing and balancing on your toes. The way the foot and the leg is set up is most of my weight needs to be over that foot. I will put myself onto my toes. My heel is kind of up my butt crack, not on the side of my butt. If I'm on the side of my butt, I have to do a really, really big twist in my body. Whereas if my heel is in the center of me, close to my coccyx, I have a lot more control. And the balance that you see doesn't take my spine too much out of the center alignment. Initially, you're looking to hold as long as you can tolerate. And then, with no hands, you can switch. I'll put a timer on. The way I started this is I just put a timer on and breathe for about a minute. For some people, if your toes are kind of busted from jiu-jitsu or kicking, have a look at our Muay Thai warm-up. And I did a really nice foot drill to actually help to move the toes. And it sounds counterintuitive, rolling the top of the knuckles to give you more room for here, but check it out, give it a little warm up. But ultimately, you just kind of have to get used to this position. And the reason I like this is gonna give you the ability to create power off that back leg in order to stand up and lower your level when you need to. So we'll breathe through here. And once you've started building up a good amount of time, I then use this fisherman's base to do additional bonus exercises. So I'll be here doing some neck exercises. My standard neck warm-up is looking over the shoulder. We know through grappling, people trying to choke us all the time, our necks get a little beat up. So we want to make sure we have full range of motion. We're looking over both shoulders, no pain, no clicks, no cracks, no discomfort as you do this. Then we can take that into yeses. We can take that into maybes. However long you've done on this leg, you'll do the same on the other side. And I go and do another set. Yeses. Nos. Maybes. Continue. Like I said, for me, I find that 2 minutes is a nice baseline setup. So once you've built up to 2 minutes of a comfortable hold, that's where you can then start adding in something else a bit more complicated. But don't add in the neck if you're really struggling, you have a lot of tension in your system. You want to sit here as comfortable as you can before you start mobilizing or moving another part of your body. Those are our 5 exercises for Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. warm-up drills. I do them all day, every day, a variation of these. So you might do them at the beginning of your workout, you might do them at the end, and then throughout the day, if you're still a bit sore in certain areas, by all means, jump in, the more the better. Like, share, subscribe, leave in the comments below if there's any exercises you want to see, or if you think there's anything we've missed, and stay tuned for more exercises and more warm-ups.